this special series, we'll explore one of the most essential yet often misunderstood areas of Islamic law, al-mirat, or Islamic succession. When we hear the word inheritance, we usually think about property, money, and who gets what after someone dies. But in Islam, inheritance, or mirat, is not just a matter of wealth, it's a matter of obedience and faith. It's part of our ibadah, our worship to Allah, because it involves following His command exactly as revealed in the Quran. In Surah An-Nisa, verses 11, 12, and 176, Allah clearly outlines the specific shares of inheritance for sons, daughters, parents, spouses, and other relatives. No other branch of Islamic law is presented with such exact mathematical precision as the law of inheritance. And this alone shows how vital it is in preserving justice, balance, and harmony within the family and within society as a whole. Before Islam, inheritance systems were unjust and unequal. Women, children, and even some close relatives were often deprived of their rights to inherit. Wealth would stay in the hands of powerful men, and disputes would divide families for generations. Then came Islam, bringing divine order to human relationships. Allah revealed the system of mirat to protect everyone's rights, including those who were once ignored. So, what exactly is Islamic succession? Simply put, it is the process of transferring the estate of a deceased person, the Muwarith, to his rightful heirs, the Warithun. This inheritance covers not only money, but everything that person owned: land, possessions, debts owed to them, and even movable property such as jewelry or livestock. As clearly stated in Presidential Decree number 1083, Article 89, succession is a mode of acquisition by which the estate of a person is transmitted to his heirs or others, in accordance with the Muslim code. Meanwhile, in the Islamic context, succession refers to the transmission of both rights and property of the deceased to his heirs at the very moment of death, not through human discretion, but by divine decree. The difference lies in the foundation. While the Muslim code provides a legal framework, Islamic succession goes beyond the law. It is an act of obedience to Allah, guided not merely by legislation, but by revelation. However, before the estate can be distributed, Islam lays down a clear order of priority. First, the expenses for the funeral and burial are paid. Second, any debts of the deceased must be settled, which includes unpaid taxes. Third, if there is a valid will or wasiya, it must be carried out, but only up to one-third of the estate, and only if it does not benefit an existing heir. Only after these three steps can the remaining property be distributed among the rightful heirs. This order is very important because it ensures justice to everyone involved, even those outside the family who may have financial claims. It reminds us that the wealth we own is only entrusted to us. Ultimately, it belongs to Allah. Now, who are the rightful heirs? In Islamic law, heirs are divided into three main categories. First, the Ashab al-Furud, those who have fixed shares clearly stated in the Quran. Second, the Asaba, or residuaries, who inherit what is left after the fixed shares are distributed. And third, the Dhawul Arham, distant kindred who may inherit only if there are no Qur'anic heirs or residuaries. Let's make that simpler. The Ashab al-Furud are like the core family: parents, spouse, children, and grandparents. Their shares are predetermined. For example, a wife receives 1/4 of her husband's estate if they have no children, and 1/8 if they do. A husband receives 1/2 of his wife's estate if they have no children, and 1/4 if they do. Well, we'll be discussing the shares in a separate videos. These numbers may sound technical, but they come directly from the Quran. They're not man-made. And this divine system is designed to be perfectly balanced. It doesn't favor men or women. It assigns shares based on responsibility. In Islam, men are obliged to provide for the family, That's why their share is sometimes larger. Women, even when they inherit less, have no financial obligations. What they receive is completely theirs, free from duty or debt. Islamic succession also ensures that no one is left out. Even a mother who might be elderly or dependent receives her rightful portion. And children, whether sons or daughters, inherit by divine right, not by human choice. No father or mother can simply write a will to favor one child over another. In fact, changing the shares that Allah has prescribed is a major sin. Let's imagine a simple example. A man passes away, leaving behind a wife, a son, and a daughter. According to the Quran, the wife receives 1/8, and the remaining estate is divided between the son and daughter, with the son receiving twice the share of the daughter. That's because he has greater financial responsibility, not greater value as a person. It's a system built not on gender, but on balance and justice. In the next episodes, we'll dive deeper into each of these parts. We'll learn about the Ashabul Furud, the Asaba, and how to calculate shares using examples from real life situations. We'll also talk about exclusion and return, or Hajb and Rad, which determine who inherits and who doesn't in certain circumstances. But for now, remember this: Islamic inheritance is not about property, it's about purpose. It's about ensuring fairness, protecting relationships, and fulfilling Allah's command with integrity. As Allah says in Surah An-Nisa, these are the limits set by Allah, and whoever obeys Allah and His Messenger will be admitted to gardens beneath which rivers flow. But whoever disobeys will face a severe punishment. That's how serious and how sacred this matter is.